So we've been pretty busy yesterday and in the last couple of days, pretty much dimensioning up all of the timber. We've got everything glued up now into lots of bits and pieces, so these will be all checkerboard boards. We've got an interesting one here. This is one I've made before. So it's got supposedly a 3D board. This one was actually misaligned. They should have been alternated. So I'm going to do another one, and this is the start of it all. Difficult to see here, but I'll get some footage of that. That's in the clamps at the moment, so this morning we'll undo that one. These now just need sanding, planing and sanding, so we'll get them in a big drum sander, and we should be able to finish them off and maybe oil them up probably early next week. I'm going to take the weekend off, play a bit of golf. Alrighty, so it's been a pretty busy week here at the workshop, Hill Studios. As you can see, I've got quite a few boards here ready for sanding. I'll get them through the thicknesser and then into the drum sander. These boards here, as I've pointed out, I'm just trying to achieve a new 3D chopping board. These are a lot of fun to make, a lot of work involved. This one's actually not quite laid out correctly. So we're doing a couple more. I've got the timber all cut out so you get the dark and white, and the little red in the middle there, that'll form the little diamond in the middle of the board. I'll just step you through this. So first one, clean. I've actually pre-done a lot of work here just to get them all lined up nicely, so we get a nice clean, get as many cuts out of it as possible. Just got to make sure it's well and truly organised when you do this stuff. Get everything ready, all your clamps ready to go, all your cauls ready to go. Mucking around while you're trying to glue stuff together. It's too hard, and anxiety levels go through. Alright, so a couple of them just loosely, this way. I don't want them to run out of line right at the moment until I get the cauls in place. And we'll lay all our checkerboards, we'll turn them around, so they'll all come out looking something like that. But then we want to make a checkerboard pattern, so we'll just turn them end for end and line all them up, get all our glue together and what have you. Also a couple of sacrificial boards on the end there, because when they do go through the planer and the sander, we'll just avoid any chip out on these end grains. We're going to come down, we're probably going to take about 2 or 3 millimeters off these boards just to end up at the ultimate thickness, and then trim them up really nicely. The other ones, I did a first test of the 3-dimensional boards. These ones weren't quite laid out as well as I'd like, however, so I've done a couple more, and I've used a couple of patterned 3D cubes on here. So you might be able to see in there the 3D cube. So that one's the larger cube and this one's a smaller cube. So hopefully you'll be able to see that once they're oiled up, they'll come up really nice. Just so when we clean up these things, we just need to get all the tear out from the grain. The tear out's caused by the big planer, which takes it down nice and flat. And of course, a little bit of tear out in there. So 20 grit belt on the belt sander, and that brings it up. We'll also get some more sanding done with the finer sanders. This morning what we've got to do is put some handles in here. So I've got a little template that we'll cut a handle groove in these boards. We'll get some roundovers on the edge, and then they should be ready for a final sand, the fine sanding. We'll take that to about 220 grit maybe, and then they'll be ready to put in the oil and get them really nice, get that finish to pop out. So the finish should look something like this. See, there was water pop that, and that's something like what we're going to finish with. We've got the groove handles milled out. We'll get these now into the sanding process. So they'll just all be sanded off. They're currently being sanded to about 120 with the big belt sander. And I'll take them down to sort of 150 with the fine sand, it's a bit finer. So we'll go through that whole process. These ones here, I put a little bevel edge on there. I don't know whether you can see that on there. And these ones I've got a bit of a round over on there, just softens that up. Bevel edge I've put on here on all corners, basically, so because they're fairly square in dimension, so you can sort of pick them up from all angles. So just a little quirk. So that's where we're up to. So we'll get a coat of oil on everything. I really like the patterning in this particular board. So watch this. Just watch this. Look at that. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Plain old mineral oil, what we'll do is come back with a mineral oil wax mix. This will seal everything up, and you can see it's all starting to soak up in here, which is fine. That's fine, because that just identifies where we need to, if we need to put a bit more in. Just get it all nice and soaked up with mineral. Very good. All right, so we'll go ahead and do the rest of those.